Sup shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to an SP Reacts where today we got ourselves a track from Wake Up titled Miss America. And if we switch over to here, we got ourselves the official lyric video on the screen. We're going to listen through this track from start till finish and we're going to hear what we think. Let's do it, let's go. What do we got?
There was a time when America was great, if you were white and male and straight. Before the Lemmings took the bait, I sure miss America. The immigrants kept America working, while billionaires were raping virgins. Let's simulate the sickest person. I sure miss America. Is it one for all or all for one? Do as I say, not as I've done. Only stupid people think cunts come. The ear survived the hired gun, the PR stunt, the chosen one. Where are the days of common sense, when intellect trumped influence? Tonight deflects, repeat and rinse. I sure miss America.
It's got this kind of grainy, washed out tone to it, like a hiss to it.
The gullible have gone all in. Complicit Christians praise the sin. The lost have found are blind again. I sure miss America. And now the cult is getting nervous. The clouds have overthrown the circus. Thoughts and prayers are all but worthless. I sure miss America.
Good use of vocal fry then. It's a great trade-off to the lead here. And it mirrors the vocal theme there.
Breaking the law was consequential. We're turning tables in the temple. I sure miss America.
And that was it. That was Miss America by Wake Up. We're going to talk about this track more in the conclusion. Because welcome to the conclusion of my review of this track from an act named Wake Up, titled Miss America. In this section, I'm going to be providing an overall song analysis of everything from lyrics and vocals all the way through to studio production, as well as any applicable constructive critique, and then finally my general thoughts from a listener's perspective. But first of all, what do we think this track is about? Clearly, this track is about just a general ill sentiment, I think, towards the current political climate in the States there. There's some very heavy language in here, some very vivid imagery, and it's not going to be for everyone, and it's definitely going to ruffle some feathers. I don't particularly mind music like this primarily because I feel like music should affect people in order to have worth in some manner, otherwise what's really being communicated apart from indifference or apathy? At the same time though, I think the story is told fairly straightforward, and I think it just gives people stuff to think about, whichever side of the aisle you're on, or whichever side of the group you're in. Regardless of your affiliation, I feel like the punk rock vocals here, that the styling makes sense. I like the mixture of cleaner sounding sung vocals there in the hooks and verses, as well as the occasional vocal fry for a bit of extra oomph and push behind it, a bit of extra aggression. I think it makes sense. They're clearly frustrated and angry with the situation. We have some nice sort of like harmonized vocals as well, occasionally a double track parts for a bit of extra oomph. The positioning of ourselves within the frequency spectrum is good. We have constant presence, and we also are not afraid to trade off to a lead guitar element as well. It kind of reminds me of a lot of mid-2000s pop punk or punk rock. Yeah, it's good. It's good. The vocals here are well done. There's no issues there. The track itself, 2 minutes 42, is nice and short, you know, relative to the amount you get with it, right within a 2 to 4 minute sweet spot, where if it's less than 2 minutes, you might be missing some important context, it might be underdeveloped. Conversely, if it's over 4 minutes, so it might be sort of like overplayed, there could be parts that just becoming a little bit sort of grating or tiring at that point. I feel like there was enough variety between the different verse and chorus sections as well as the various instrumental sections to be able to get us through. I've got no real complaints about how things are approached there. Ultimately, it's a track where if you like this kind of music, you're probably going to get along with a lot of what's going on there. I particularly appreciated the guitar playing in the solo section, how it was mirroring some of the vocal melodies that we had within the end of the chorus parts. I think that's just a very sort of natural, sensible soloing technique there. I think that's just, it's good. It's good stuff. Typically, we have power chords and other octave parts there and sort of like leads revolving around like the diatonics and some pentatonics, and I think that it was exactly what we needed. We didn't overcomplicate the guitar performance, and the rhythm playing was quite tight. The bass playing in the low end typically stuck for the root notes and was nicely respectful and provided a great foundation or ground floor in that regard. And the drums had a variety of different grooves and beats, measuring between the quarters, eighths, and sixteenths, as well as some middle eight parts there, and sort of fill transfers that were able to keep the pace going at a steady tempo and a steady pace. A nice amount of syncopated and on-beat, sort of normal time beats there. It was great. Honestly, it was good. I think thematically, this track was minor leaning or major leaning. It was interesting because if it was major leaning, then it infers a sense of positivity, which I assume is sarcastic. You know, it's sarcastic positivity within this. It's kind of faux, kind of maybe softening some of the outrage they legitimately feel towards the situation. I think turning into the minor for the chorus was a smart approach though, working with the relative minor. You know, just to kind of infer a truer sense of how we're maybe feeling about it. That kind of ABA side to it is just a smart way of heading adjustment when we're not trying to be too complicated with our harmonies. Studio recording, mixing, and mastering. We did well here, I think. There was just the EQing. There was some resonant frequencies in the 1 to 4 kilohertz range, which kind of made it sound a bit kind of washed out and kind of synthetic. Aside from that, I feel like it might have been the guitars. Yeah, I'm wondering if we double tracked the rhythm guitar parts. Seemed like the guitar tracks were kind of phasing a little bit. Everything was quite close to the center of the stereo field, you know. The bass and drums and other parts as well were quite good though. Yeah, there's some bigger sounding parts, such as around the 2-minute 10 mark there, where you can hear this stuff attempting to be on the side of the stereo field, but doesn't quite fill it out properly, which is a shame. But ultimately, though, it's nice and loud without pumping. There's adequate side chaining for the kicks, and you can hear all the different elements with it, and even if there is some phasing from the lack of double tracking those rhythm guitars. The lead guitar solo in the center is a nice trade-off from the vocal, so that's good. Ultimately, apart from maybe wanting to have double-tracked the rhythm guitars, everything else within this was pretty, and maybe some resonant frequencies in the 1 to 4 kilohertz range. I think things in here were generally pretty good. This is not unconventional or unheard of kind of commentary or topic for this kind of music. From a general listener's perspective, I think that it's just interesting because around the time of the 2024 election, I was hearing a lot of music in support of this from people who were trying to sort of like celebrate what was going on. It's just interesting how the tables have turned a little bit at this point so soon into it. But I wish everyone involved the best of luck in future. Thank you for watching my review of this track from Wake Up, titled Miss America, and hopefully you felt something about it. If you did, please go show them some love via the various social medias and YouTube page, and stay cool and stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as they need the help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world, and I'll catch you in the next SB Reacts. Spider Hands out.